First pick, had to fight for what I got a feeling I deserve it. Now I'm only moving with a purpose. The people showing love, but I ain't broken through the surface. Never had a chance, was a no name. Off season started working on my post game. Now I seen you read it at the phone when they alone. I break them off and send a home. Got a game with no shame. Saying I'm a flop, that's an insult. Chill. Rolling the J in the raw pace still. Send a shot, y'all ain't never got a kill. Kick rock, city full of cops. They got me heated like a furnace. My energy make them nervous. Every hollow got a purpose. Appreciate retro service.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's your boy, Mike Ash.
I'm Jay.
And this is Sports Cartel. If you guys can't tell, we are short two people once again. Drew Ash is having some car trouble, and Mike Mooney is stuck in a hospital. He's not injured, anything like that. So don't you guys worry. He's not going to be back on here for a while.
He just found out he had herpes.
Yeah. Oh, put him on blast. Anyways, like we've said before, we are working on new apparel. If we can get everybody together, we'd have probably already had it in order and just waiting for it to be delivered. But we can't seem to get everybody here in order to take the picture and get it drawn out. But like we said, keep on our Facebook sports page, Sports Cartel. We put all of our information through there. We post videos. Get on there and hit that follow button for us, man. Get into the conversation. Join the cartel. Everybody wants to be a part of something. Why not be a part of cartel? So, John, how was your day, man, before we get into this? Hey, anyways, why don't you step on in here, Avery? Come on into the frame here. If you guys don't know, this is my wonderful daughter. Say hi, Avery. See, that's Avery. She's going to be my golf star. We just got to get her golfing a little more. Anyways, all right, get out of the picture. Get out of the picture. Yes. How was your day, John? And there she goes.
Busy.
Mine wasn't at all. Actually.
Yours is never busy.
No. That's what happens when you work for the government. It tends to do that. But we do have some hot topics we're going to talk about today, whether or not it's relevant to today's game or not. But we're going to really kick this off. John brought up a hell of a topic here. He said recently Deion Sanders spoke on the Hall of Fame being, what, 2 tiers, you said? Tier 1, tier 2?
Yeah,
greatness?
and the reason why he said that, he feels like just anybody can get, there's no standard to get in there now. He feels just anybody and their brothers getting in there. And he feels the Hall of Fame should be for the highest level. He said, if you're going to add everybody in, you need to add another level, which, and I think his example was 11 defensive players, 11 offensive players. That's going to be in the top. Like that's it. So you get 22 players in the top. But I think that would be hard to do because I think every year, if we would have went back years ago, Joe Montana may have been in that level. Well, now you could argue and say Peyton Manning or Tom Brady. So who would you take out of that level?
So we have a Hall of Fame class every single year, pretty much, correct? Mm-hmm. And we have they all have a waiting period. Was it 5? I think it's 5 years removed. So year 6, you're able to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Why don't the NFL try to change that? I know I'm not saying change your years until eligibility, but why have a Hall of Fame class every single year? Maybe that's why certain people constantly they always seem to be pressured to put somebody in.
I think because if you've noticed over the last 5 years, 5 years especially.
Would that do away with first ballots though? Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, no, because you'd still do your first ballot Hall of Fame would be the first year in, so you would still have first ballot.
So it's the first time you were on the ballot. Okay,
yeah.
Go ahead.
I think now I can't remember what the hell I was going to say. You lost my train of thought by doing that.
It caught my brain a little bit. I'm like, wait a minute, with that? No, but then that didn't make no sense after I said
I know what I was going to say. I think what they need to do, instead of doing 5 years, they need to do it 10, because now in the last 5 years, we've seen a lot of first-year people get in there, whether it be, Peyton Manning, Ray Lewis, guys like that. Yeah, they deserve to be in there, but they've also got guys that's deserving that was from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. You know what I mean? Maybe instead of doing 5 year, let's do 10 year.
Do you think that would still make them feel pressured to put people in when, you might have a ballot that's really weak because you do a yearly Pro Football Hall of Fame. So some of your ballots that come up are weak. So why not do a ballot, like you said, every 5 years? So every 5 years, you'll have a Hall of Fame class. or every 10 years you'll have a Hall of Fame class
Yeah,
instead
because
of
I
every
think
single year.
and I think the other thing that gets to me is the game has changed so much from era to era. Now we look at quarterbacks now and we look at the yards they're putting up now versus these great quarterbacks we grew up watching young, Dan Marino's, the Joe Montanas, the Steve Youngs, those guys. The game's changed so much to so much a passing league. How can you compare those quarterbacks to these ones?
That's what, well, I mean, we've had this discussion numerous times on, I think you're a big believer in not comparing eras
I don't
because
everything
it
changes.
changes. I mean, you can look at it every decade. It seems like the game of football changes for the most. Something in the game changes.
And not just with football, but even medicine to keep the player healthy, the therapeutics and stuff. You look, Tom Brady's a prime example. That dude stayed healthy. He got lucky and stayed healthy. Everything's just improved for the player that I don't think that you can compare. I mean, could you take Tom Brady and put him in the 80s with Joe Montana? He thrives just as well. I don't know. Could you take Joe Montana and put him in this era and say he thrives just as well? Probably so. It's just hard to compare them eras. I think if you want to compare greats, you compare eras, that era of time. So 90s, the great 90s player could be Brett Favre, somebody like that, or you go to the 2000s, Peyton Manning, if you wanted. I just don't agree with that. Oh man,
Yeah, I don't really agree with it all that much. Also, I think at the end of the day, they have to do something to change it, or we're going to continue to have. I'm not saying every class is a lackluster class, but at the same time, I think something has to change, or we're going to get shitty. Well, I shouldn't say shitty. We're going to get bad draft class Hall of Fame classes that people don't really respect, I guess is what we need to say there.
I agree with that. And that's the reason why I agree with Deion Sanders. I think that he had a good point, good valid point, that the Hall of Fame has now become just a thing for everybody to get involved in. I think that that's a huge thing they got to change. Maybe I'm wrong, but like I said, I do agree with Deion on that one.
We're trying a little bit of something different here, guys. So, do you guys honestly, I mean, would anybody, Avery, grab that. Would anybody agree with our filmster right there for TikTok Live?
All right.
Would anybody disagree with us when it comes to the Hall of Fame needs to change? Would you, John? So we're in agreement that it probably should change.
Yes, I think it should change. I think that, and don't get me wrong, every player they have put in it is a great in their era. It's a great, but I guess when you think of great all time,
so you can hold it. So you can hold the other way. It's like never mind. You can turn it to where you could look at it. Oh, okay, whatever. VR Filmster. Anyway, so that was something I guess we really wanted to touch on when it came to the Hall of Fame and Deion Sanders' remark with the. I mean, I'm in full agreement with him. I really am. I think some of these classes that we get, and I'm not, like we said, it's not every single year, but some of these classes that we get you're like, what? Who? Why?
There's been a couple,
and I know it is because a lot of it's era. We do look at it as in like we're like, who the heck is that guy? So it does sort of go back to an era thing, but at the same time, would you feel that today's players, let's say 20 years from now, today's players are literally going to outweigh anybody that played in the 70s, 80s, 90s?
I do, because like I said, the game's evolving. There's ways these players are getting better and better. Seems like every draft, there's different, you look at the quarterbacks that's in the league right now, whether it be Joe Burrow, whether it be Patrick Mahomes. These quarterbacks are way their age is better than what I feel, in my opinion, better than Tom Brady was at that age, better than Peyton Manning at his age.
I don't think it's close. I think these guys are so far advanced. Now, do we do we say that's because of technology or because of the change in coaching, the change in
Now,
preparation?
I don't want people to misunderstand. I'm not saying these players are going to be better than them. They have potential to be better.
Yeah, we're saying as of now,
Yeah,
at their age, they're better
age,
than what
I
they
feel
were.
like they're better than what they were. The stats, whether it be Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, those 4 quarterbacks alone have potential to
We've already
surpass Tom Brady's all times.
We've actually already seen these quarterbacks, and I'm saying within Herbert, Burrow, we throw Dak in there, you throw Mahomes in there, Josh Allen in there. These guys putting up the kind of numbers that they put up in within the first 3 or 4 years of their career. Other than maybe you go back and look at Dan Marino. Dan Marino was about the only one comparable to what these guys are doing, because he was a game changer when he was out there putting up 5,000 passing yards.
I would say even, Peyton Manning, his first year, obviously 27 interceptions his rookie year, but came out the second year and he's been consistently over 4,000 almost his whole entire career. But I still think, and again, the league has evolved so much since Peyton Manning first was drafted in 98. I think he got drafted.
98, yeah, 97, 98.
From the time he got drafted till now, the league has evolved so much, and because of Peyton Manning, they've evolved to a passing league. This league seems to be a pass-first league 9 times out of 10. I mean, you get a running back like Jonathan Taylor, Chubb, or something like that. Yeah, you might want to run first to open up the pass, but a lot of these teams are pass first.
I think even with, like, if you look at, okay, so we say pass first. I think even if you have a great running back, do you think if the Titans had, let's say, Justin Herbert, do you think that they don't run Derrick Henry 300 times, or do you think they still hand him 300 times? They just figure out a way to pass the ball 330 times too.
If they're smart as a coach, they don't run him that much. You want to prolong the life of, because I heard a running back say that every time they get hit, it's a hit to the length of time they play. So if you got a quarterback like a Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes back there, and you've got a running back like Henry, you don't have to run him as much, because now you've got a quarterback that takes a little bit of pressure off that running back. Sorry, Tannehill's not a great quarterback.
No,
not
he's not.
bad, but
he's average. I think he's average in the league. Yes.
So if you're, as a coach, I want this running back to last me a long time. So I'm going to take some load off of him and make it where he doesn't have to. Because if Henry keeps running at the pace he is, the amount of attempts he runs, he's not going to be a 10-year back.
No, but there are some backs in today's league that get better with more carries. And I'm not saying it as in, that's common sense that most backs get better the more times you hand them the ball. No, I'm saying they get significantly better with more carries. Like Derrick Henry gets strong. Zeke Elliott, Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb. These guys are you get 18, 19, 20 carries. They're all of a sudden going from a 4 yards to all of a sudden these guys are popping out 4.5, 5 yards a carry.
A big part of that too is the defense is starting to get
wear down.
So
do you move away from that and actually sort of hurt your back's production because they do bad? They're big backs. That's what I'm trying to say. They're bigger backs. They're bully backs.
I don't think it's going to hurt them. You go back and you look at a big back like Jerome Bettis. Jerome Bettis didn't touch the ball that many times, and he was still a good 1,000-yard back.
Go get a chair.
Very, very powerful back. He was a force, So I don't think with like Derrick Henry and guys like that, I don't think it's going to hurt. Yeah, grant you, his yards are going to come down because he's not rushing the ball 300-400 times. But I think you're going to prolong his life, his running back life, if that makes sense. He's not getting beat up, because a human's body can only take so much. If you're rushing him 300-400 times a season.
Well, we already see, is his legs breaking down now with Derrick Henry, or is it just a freak accident?
I would say that one was more of a freak accident more than it was anything. I hope. We're going to find out this year. We'll see how good he is coming back from that.
All right. So let's move on. I really want to talk about, and I know a lot of people probably don't want to hear our comments on it or our takes on the whole Deshaun Watson finally gets his suspension. So we're going to get to watch Deshaun. Obviously, breaking news was Deshaun got 11 games and a $5 million suspension or $5 million fine. So I think if you go back and look at our, all right, D, you go back and look at our group chat, right? We all, and then nobody knows we have a huge group chat that we talk on. We talk all day long about sports, whether it be NASCAR, wrestling, football, basketball, baseball. It don't matter. We're in it. We talk about it. It's the closest friends. That's just what we do. But in our group chat, we talked about this repeatedly. And we have people that wanted a year. We have people that wanted indefinite. We had people that wanted him out the league. If I remember correctly, me and you were sort of on the page of use the personal conduct policy, give him the suspension he rightfully deserves. We both felt that really he was proven innocent in the court of law. Both grand juries could not find enough evidence. And I'm not saying people that he didn't do it. I'm just saying they couldn't figure out how they were getting him to do it. But pretty sure in that group chat, I said 12 games, $8 million. That's what I thought they were going to do. And only how I came up with that is because the NFL during the Sue Robinson trial, the NFL tried to get him to do 12 games, $8 million. That was what they wanted. So that's what I decided. Well, hell, this is probably what they're going to come up with. I think you said it should stay at 6. What'd you say?
I didn't. I was indifferent about it. I didn't care what he got. I mean, I felt like he should get something because what he did. I mean, you touched on this. I think that what had happened that he did cross the line with a couple. I don't think he crossed the line with all of them. I think he crossed the line with some. Those particular ones went and filed a lawsuit, and these other ones just kind of jumped on board. And I don't know if that's a fact. I don't know. No one's ever going to really know the truth.
There's only one person that knows, 2 people, 3 people, whatever it was, that know the exact truth.
That know the exact truth of what happened. So I felt like whatever they gave him, serve it, be done with it. I mean, obviously you felt you did something wrong because you paid you settled with them, you paid them, serve your suspension, get it over with, get back in the game. I felt,
we said we felt that he wasn't innocent.
No, he wasn't innocent,
but he wasn't like, I think some people were labeling him a serial assaulter,
and that's
a
what
rapist.
Goodell said he was a predator.
Yeah, that's another word, as they're saying he's a predator. Do I agree with that? I don't know the true facts, but what we do know is there was no proof.
I heard he was spotted at the massage convention there in Cleveland.
You think so?
I'm kidding.
So? No, I don't think he's going back there. Why I want to bring this up is because I really, 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 really hope this is done. I don't want to talk about it no more. I hope the NFL fans, the NFL players, everything about the NFL stops.
I think the next biggest one's going to be your Alvin Kamara one.
Yeah, that's what we're still waiting on that. So,
well, they said after they got Deshaun's done, they would go to that one. We'll see how that.
And I think that shouldn't draw out very long at all. They should be able to. All that is literally going to the conduct policy. You did this. You've never been in trouble. I could really see Alvin Kamara getting probably a 6-game suspension. They might push it as high as 8, but I would say 6. It's his first time offense. That is one thing that we've seen with this one. The NFL pretty much said we don't agree with Sue Robinson's suspension. The NFLPA said we'll sue you. So if you want to go put on whatever suspension you want, we're going to countersue, because in theory we have a law-abiding agreement. You guys have to. You can issue your suspension all you want, but you still have to do it under the guidelines of the personal conduct policy. And I think they said on there the max was like 12 games. But the max punishment they can get for first-time offenders, or the severity of the penalty, I think it was 12 games.
I'm going to be curious to see how he plays when he comes back.
So, yeah, that's what I want to get at. I want to know. So now we have a topic I really want to get to. Deshaun Watson is out till week 13. We know that. It's said, done. It's over. Great. Let's go to fucking football. But Baker Mayfield has pretty much all but been named the week 1 starter of the Carolina Panthers.
Which is exciting for week 1 because Carolina plays Cleveland.
Yes, Carolina gets Cleveland. Baker Mayfield is probably going to take that very first snap. And what do you want to see from Baker? That's all. What I want to see, because I'm obviously not a Browns fan, but I feel Baker was treated unfairly in Cleveland. The way they treat him, the dude just led you to the playoffs the year before. Comes out in the following season, gets injured, and everybody hates him. But the year before, everybody loved him. He playing just like Deshaun Watson. Everybody's going to love him, and if he starts losing, they're all going to hate him
Be the worst $200 million ever spent. But I want to see Baker go out and just ball out. I want to see him lead the Carolina Panthers to the
So you
playoffs.
want to see an upset?
I do. And the reasoning is because
Oh, damn, D. 323 touchdowns, huh?
I think Baker has that similar moxie to Burrow. I don't think he's quite as calm and collective as Burrow, but I think he has potential to be a very good quarterback if he has the right surroundings. I mean, in Cleveland, he never had the chance. How many different coordinators did he go through? How many head coaches did he go through?
Well, I'm pretty sure it was 3 head coaches, 4 coordinators,
Something like that.
and 4 years.
Yeah, so I feel like the dude never had the right opportunity, and now he's in Carolina. I feel he has a better shot. I think the talent in Carolina is just as good as Cleveland, if not a little better. With if Christian McCaffrey can stay healthy.
Dude, you think about the talent that's in Carolina. Okay, now let's compare them.
They still
Okay.
got Robbie Anderson, don't they?
Yeah, let's compare them. All right, let's do this. Let's do this here. Who would you rather have? And we're saying healthy. I'm not using any injuries whatsoever. These two teams are going into the regular season week 1 healthy. Would you rather have a healthy Christian McCaffrey or a healthy Nick Chubb?
Christian McCaffrey all the way.
I'm right there with you. I'm taking a healthy McCaffrey over Nick Chubb.
I think McCaffrey is a more rounded back. What I mean by that, he can run, he can catch outside the, he can do it all. Where Chubb can too, but I feel like McCaffrey's better.
So would you rather a healthy DJ Moore or a healthy Amari Cooper?
DJ Moore.
You take DJ Moore.
I would try to take DJ Moore.
I think DJ's
Cooper's good.
Yes. I think DJ's performed well with some bad quarterbacks. So we're actually, and I'm not saying Baker's a great quarterback, but we're going to get to that in a second. I honestly think that's you really can't. They're the same receiver to me. That's what they do. They both produce. They're not outstanding receivers. They're not top 10 receivers in the league, but they are very, very good number 1 options.
Now I think Carolina has the better second receiver with Robbie Anderson.
That's what I'm getting to. Yes. So Robbie Anderson or whoever they run out. We don't even really do. Does anybody even know who their second receiver
Donovan
is?
Peoples-Jones, isn't it?
People Jones, or what's his name? Anthony Swartz or whatever his name
Tight
is.
end wise, and Joe, Cleveland is in David Njoku, and Carolina has who's their tight end?
And Thomas. Oh, what the hell is his first name? Anyway, so now we go quarterback. What do? Jacoby Brissett, Baker Mayfield. Because I would say Deshaun, but Deshaun's out 13 games.
I mean,
so
Baker all day.
Is Baker coming into a better situation? Because I think head coaching wise,
about the same.
They're unknown. Is really what they are. They're unknown. They're developing, I guess.
I think Baker Mayfield would perform better in Carolina. And the other thing we never talk about is the culture that in each one of these football. I think Carolina has a better culture than Cleveland has. And I think that's going to make Baker play even better.
I think as long as they put some, I've said this to you. I wish Mooney was here because I've said this to him a million times. The Cleveland Browns organization never gave Baker any confidence. They never showed they truly believed in this kid ever. And they took him number 1 and that's it. They pretty much said, you develop.
Yeah. I think, I just, and it goes, the reason why I say the culture thing, me being a Cincinnati fan, I watched that Cincinnati team. The culture that they had wasn't very, I don't feel like they were, I want to say it, win now. I didn't feel like they had that mentality, but now that they've got the players they have with Burrow, Chase, and Higgins, they're going to win. They want to win now. That mentality is we're going to win. The confidence that the quarterback has, the moxie, as you call it. I think Baker has that same potential, but Cleveland just kind of took it away from him.
I don't think they ever gave it to him. I think he came in with a big head. He came in
a chip on the shoulder.
He's always played with a lot of emotion. Baker Mayfield is an emotional quarterback.
And what do you think what happened in Cleveland, what it just did to him going to Cleveland? He's going to have an even bigger chip on his shoulder, and he's going to have something to prove. And he's going to be playing to win.
I think this dude's coming out looking like, okay, if you remember in college, he planted the flag in the middle of the Ohio State Stadium.
Yeah.
It broke.
That's when I started hating Baker.
Yeah, because it broke because he tried to shove it into turf. But I think that's the Baker that we are going to see from here on out. He went to an organization where from the minute he walked into that door, Carolina knew this is our starting quarterback.
And D has a good point. He's playing for a contract. This dude's going to go out here and ball out and try to be. I mean, he's going to.
I wouldn't be shocked to see Baker. Let's say it now. Okay. Let's go out on a limb. I'm going to go out on a limb. You tell me if you agree with me. I'm going to say Baker stats this year. Okay. You listen here. Listen closely. Mark this down. Anybody who's watching TikTok, YouTube, if you're watching, you heard it here. Your boy, Mike Ash, Sports Cartel, is going to say it. 63% completion percentage, 4,500 yards, 30 touchdowns, 12 picks. Carolina makes the playoffs. You heard it here first. Thank you very much. I think I'm out, boys.
The only thing I disagree with is 4,500 yards. I think it's going to be more 42, 43. 30 touchdown. Yeah. Interceptions. I'm going to go more to 15 mark.
I put him at right around 12 because he's a gunslinger. That's why I have his yards up, because they're going to throw the ball.
Oh,
whether that be dump offs to McCaffrey. Baker's strength is throwing.
I think what's really going to help is if McCaffrey stays healthy.
Oh my!
If McCaffrey goes down, Chuba Hubbard.
They got Chuba Hubbard, who's not a bad back.
No, he's not bad. So, and I think he's just going to get better from last year to this year. But if McCaffrey stays healthy, Carolina, I think, could be a sleeper team in the NFC.
10-7. 10-7, they make the playoffs.
I could see it. 10-7.
I would just go crazier than a mother effer and say that they sweep the Tampa Bay Bucks in that division.
Okay, now you're stretching just
I'm going to go out there and I'm saying it right now. They sweep the Tampa Bay Bucks in their matchups.
If it's going to depend how their defense plays.
You're not going against me, John.
It's going to depend on how that defense plays. They got to play Tom Brady. And much as Tom Brady is he's tough for anybody to.
He is tough for anybody.
Mr. Checkdown, but hey, it's besides the point.
It's. I'm telling you, you heard it here. 63%,
40 touchdowns.
40 touchdowns. Anyway,
68% completion, upsetting Brady and take division. That's a big one. D.
All right, D. So what are you calling? You say 43, 30, and 15.
What?
That Baker's numbers. You said 43, 30, and 15.
Yeah.
4,300 yards, 30 touchdowns, 15 picks.
42, 43, something like that.
Okay. And then you're saying that you are agreeing they make the playoffs? Every year I seen this weird. I was going through TikTok and I seen ESPN. I follow ESPN on TikTok, and they said every year at least two teams that didn't make the playoffs the year before make the playoffs the following year. Every year. It's happened every year for, I think they said 20 straight years or something wild like that.
It's possible.
What hurt Carolina last year? Quarterback play. So if they can get some consistency out of Baker and Baker plays to his potential, the number 1 overall draft pick potential, and McCaffrey stays healthy.
Well, because the Carolina defense actually had them in fantasy, and they played very well through most of the year. They were one of the higher ranked defenses in fantasy. So the defense, if they can keep that defense hot, I can't remember who they take in the draft. I can't remember.
I don't even want to go back that far. It is a lot. It is a lot to even try to dissect on what Carolina did. Okay, because they felt that they needed a lot, and I think really they were hurting.
Quarterback in the draft too, didn't they?
Oh, they took the Matt Corral. Is that his name?
Yes,
Matt Corral. So anyway, we'll go on to that. Do you think Ryan Tannehill's job is in trouble?
Yes.
Okay, because we've seen Malik Willis, and for that we're going on to our next subject. We have the Tennessee Titans. We have preseason footballs came in. We've seen now Malik Willis play. Do you think, honest opinion, TikTok world, do you think that Malik Willis is sort of saying, this is my job, Ryan? Or do you think Tennessee is riding Ryan Tannehill no matter what? Because he does make money there, obviously.
Malik did play well in his preseason game. A lot of them said he balled out, played very well.
I watched it yesterday. He looked. I mean, he was playing backups, but he looked good. He did not look bad.
So I think that with that, I do think that Tannehill's job is in jeopardy. If I had to guess, the coach is put in a very bad spot right now, because they look at it and they say, okay, Tannehill did lead us to the playoffs. It did lead us to the playoffs. Do we want to try to make it to playoffs again with him, or do we want to gamble with Willis? Because it's a big gamble.
I don't. You think it's a gamble when it comes to Ryan? I mean, what is? Truth be told, what does Ryan Tannehill really do for Tennessee? We've seen him against you guys. I mean, he was literally everything Tennessee threw every counter punch they could at Cincinnati in the playoffs. And Ryan Tannehill kept literally handing it right back to them.
I think, but Tannehill went how many games without Henry? So the last,
But their running game was still there, though. I know it wasn't Derrick Henry, but they
Yeah.
were still rushing well.
I think that's a hard one, because I mean Tannehill did help get him there.
Yes, I can agree
You
with
know,
that.
do you take your quarterback that just led you to the playoffs and say we're putting a rookie in, taking a chance on a rookie because it is a rookie?
But at that point, you're saying,
And D said Willis starts by game 7, and that could be a thing where Tannehill goes out, it's not balling out, and they say, okay, we're going to put Willis in now.
but they have no receivers there anymore either.
No, they don't.
No, AJ Brown's gone. Julio Jones is gone. Now I can't tell you off the top of my head who they went out there and got. I'm not that in depth of following every single team out there and every single free agent move that they made. I'm saying, do you feel the only thing Malik Willis gives you the same type of arm strength? His arm strength might be better than Ryan Tannehill's. Yes, the composure, the veteran leadership probably isn't there with Malik. But what he brings to that offense, that's a whole nother dimension.
The wire's bugging me.
Oh, yeah, get it. Can you fix it? That's a whole nother dimension for him. Darn you, Avery. Our cameraman, our camera lady left. She sat us down. So give a bold prediction. What do you think? Do you think Malik Willis starts by at least? Do you think he upsets Ryan Tannehill and starts week 1?
I think there's a good probable chance that he does. I really do. If he keeps playing at the intensity he's playing in the preseason here, yeah.
Do you think they could? Do you think they could say, the hell with it and let's just start Malik? And we haven't heard no rumors of Ryan Tannehill. He is a $25 million quarterback. I think he's going to make somewhere around $25 million this year.
And I think the other thing, and I could be wrong on this, I think that some of the coaching staff could have been upset at Tannehill's remarks at the beginning of when they drafted Willis, when he said, "Hey, I'm not going to teach you nothing. He's here to,
He's pretty much taking his job. They drafted him for a reason.
You don't see quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers or a Tom Brady or a Peyton Manning. They don't worry about losing their job to some rookie because they are confident in their ability. That told me that Ryan Tannehill was not confident in his ability in leading that team. So he knew his job was in jeopardy because he was not confident in his own play. If you're confident in your own play, I'll teach him.
Yeah, what do you want to know?
Yeah,
I'll
teach you what you want to know.
Because you're not going to outdo me anyway.
Yeah.
You ain't got the talent.
If I'm confident in my ability to play the game, that's the way it's going to be. Where Ryan Tannehill, I feel, is not confident because of that comment he made. That showed weakness to me, and that showed the coaching staff, hey, we've got an issue here.
I think if you go back 3, 4, 5 months ago, I told you guys before the draft that Ryan Tannehill's job should be in jeopardy. It should. They have reached the limit with Ryan Tannehill. There is no other level of Ryan Tannehill. Like what you see, I've said it a million times. Let's see if people disagree with me, but Jimmy Garoppolo, Ryan Tannehill are no different. What you see is what you get. You're going to have to put weapons around them. They're never going to evolve into anything more than what they are. There are limited quarterbacks that they have talent enough to start. They could be starters. They have the talent to start, but there's limitations.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And I know Ryan Tannehill's a success story. He was a receiver in college. He came up, they end up taking him. They sort of
Tannehill started in Miami.
Yeah. They maneuvered him into a quarterback. He has gotten better, but he's there. It's it. There is no better. What has he been in the league now? 8, 9 years?
Has it been that long already?
Yeah, I mean, that's wild guess. 8, 9 years, I would think. I think he played 4 years in Miami, and then he's been in Tennessee easily 4 years.
And that, speaking of Miami, because we're talking about quarterbacks that's on hot seat and stuff. I think if another one's going to be in the hot seat this year is Tua.
Oh, if Tua doesn't perform
with the weapons that dude has, if he doesn't win, you can't ask for a better receiving core than what he has.
you can go to my TikTok page and see. I said that is the best. That's the most dynamic 2 receivers in all of football.
With them targets, and then they got
Gesicki.
They went and got Chase Edmonds, which Chase Edmonds, don't get me wrong, is not a
He's not every down.
Taylor,
He's not every down,
but he's a good back. You've got that surrounding. Now there's no exception. There's no excuses for Tua not to perform.
And I think I'm not a believer in Tua. I'm not a believer in him.
He has potential.
But he has potential. And if you can't perform with what you have, and we've seen what he did with Gesicki and what he did with Waddle. I mean, Waddle had a really nice rookie season. Gesicki had a really nice season. Now you add Tyreek Hill. I don't really know how you guard their receivers because there's really not a team out there with 3 great corners on one roster. Well,
and that goes to the same thing.
This isn't Madden.
Yeah, this goes to the same thing with the Cincinnati's receiving core, with Higgins, Chase, and Boyd. That's another receiving core that's tough.
That's very tough.
You've got them. You've got Miami now. I think Philly could have another receiving core with who they have now. I don't know. There's not too many teams that have that many good corners out there.
No, there's not. And so do you think if they struggle to start out, what does Miami do if let's just say they start out 1-5, 1-6? Do you think if you're Miami, are you at that point fielding calls? Like maybe Jimmy Garoppolo's not, he hasn't been traded yet. Or maybe, Ryan Tannehill has been benched at that point.
I guess what you would look at that point, the 1-6 record, is okay. If we want to blame Tua,
they're going to.
Well, I would look at Tua's stats. If Tua's out there playing well, and it's just their defense can't stop anything, you can't blame Tua. They're going to blame Tua.
They're going to blame
him, but you
him,
can't blame Tua if he's throwing 300 yards a game and 2 touchdowns a game, not turning the ball over, but they're still 1-6 because their defense can't stop anybody.
But they're not going to settle though either.
No,
someone's going to get blamed, and we all know who's going to get blamed.
So I'm curious to see what's going to happen here with them. I think Tua, he better go out and ball out. With them receivers, there's no reason.
If you looked at Tua, would you say the ceiling of Tua is higher than Jimmy Garoppolo's ceiling? You think he has more potential to be better than Jimmy Garoppolo from a quarterback standpoint?
With the talent that he has now?
No, just him in general. I'm not the talent we're gonna wipe away. Just looking at these two as your starting quarterback.
I think they're the same.
So you don't think that Tua could progress? I died. You don't think Tua could progress to be a better quarterback than what Jimmy Garoppolo is now?
Possibly. The thing that kills me with Jimmy is who he played with, Tom Brady. He had a very good person to look up to, one of the best to ever do it. And he goes out, and I think you see some of the decisions he makes isn't very smart, but he wins games. He leads you to the playoffs.
But then he melts in the playoffs. That's what sucks.
He went to the Super Bowl once.
We did, but we also seen Mo start take off for them. I mean, that's how they beat the Packers. Didn't he break the record for most rushing yards in a playoff game at like 200 and something remember. Wild?
I don't know. I think Tua could potentially have could be better.
Okay. So who's the better quarterback? Your opinion.
Oh boy.
Jared Goff or Jimmy Garoppolo?
See, I think they're the same. I would say they're the same. Very similar.
I lean more towards Goff because of the sheer fact when they made the Super Bowl, they lost the Super Bowl because of Goff. We'll say that. Goff did not play well, which is fine. It's a Super Bowl. He played bad.
He was on what, a second-year guy?
Yeah, second or third year in the league. Made the
Which,
Super Bowl.
No excuse.
No, it's not. We're not saying that's an excuse, but he played bad.
Because didn't Mahomes go to the Super Bowl his first year or second year win?
Second or third year and won, yeah. When I say Goff, I haven't seen Jimmy Garoppolo put up a season like Jared Goff yet. When Jared Goff had, and he's a guy who needs weapons. He's not a guy who's going to just beat you with just unreal talent from a quarterback standpoint. But when they made it, he was a big factor on why they made it. I mean, I think he had 4,500 yards, 30-some touchdowns, and less than 10 picks.
I know he did well.
And he played really, really, really well. Yes, and then he played well throughout the playoffs until the Super Bowl.
The comment you made about weapons, I think any quarterback in the league needs weapons to be able to win.
There are some quarterbacks that make better receivers than what they are.
And it may not be. Well, Tom Brady, what I was getting ready to say, his weapon was his offensive line.
No, but I'm saying he's made receivers household names.
Well, that's where I was getting to with Brady. He had so much time in the pocket, any receiver, you could go out there and get open. Because he had so much time in the pocket to get open. These receivers should be able to get open. So his weapon wasn't necessarily the receivers. Tom Brady's weapon every year in and out is usually that offensive line. That's a bold one, D. Prediction: Goff leads the Lions to the playoffs. That's bold. Could happen though, because they made some steps on defense.
Well, they got better as the year progressed.
Yeah. So, but anyway, with Brady, and I'm not taking anything away from no one. I don't want to misunderstand me, but every quarterback has weapons. Even Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning had good receivers. I mean, do I think that he made some of them receivers better by playing with it? Absolutely. Do I think Reggie Wayne goes out and does what he does with any other quarterback? I don't know. Maybe not. Marvin Harrison. I like Marvin Harrison. Do I think he goes out and balls out with another quarterback? I don't know. He didn't do very well in Jacksonville, but that, I get it. End of his career. Get it. Totally get it. But I think every quarterback has to have a good cast around them to perform well. I don't think there's any quarterback that can go out there and play with shitty people and win and put up stats.
Oh yeah, if you're saying every part of the game is crap, I can agree with that.
Yeah, I think they
have to have either an offensive line, like your greats, like Rodgers, Brady, Manning, Breeze, Russell Wilson, back in the earlier days of Elway and Marino and Montana. They all had nice pieces, but I just think there's another level of quarterbacks, and I put Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees in that category of Peyton. I mean, Peyton had a bunch of nice receivers. Like you said, are they great receivers outside of him? We'll never know, but what we do know is they were great. But why I say this with mainly Rodgers is we seen when them receivers left.
Isaac says, "Let me call in." His phone's dead, Isaac.
My phone died, man. My phone died. With Rodgers, we've seen great receivers that we thought were on pace to be really nice receivers leave, and what the heck did they do? Like, for instance, Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb was great for Green. And that's the thing. This is the crazy thing. Great for Green Bay. Left it. Comes back to Green Bay. Oh, man. His 1 year last year, until he got hurt, he was performing like we're all like, where the hell has this Randall Cobb been? Oh, well, no, it's because Aaron is back there.
I think it was that connection too that them two had.
Oh, yeah. Donald Driver played most of his career was great. Greg Jennings was there. Great. He left because I know Rodgers didn't get a whole lot of time with Donald Driver. I think he only played like 2 or 3 years.
I think Donald Driver retired Green Bay, didn't he?
Yeah, he retired, but he didn't get a whole. What I'm saying is we didn't know. We knew he was good before him, but he only got a couple years with Aaron Rodgers. But he also had Brett Favre throwing in the ball before that. But then you go on to
that argument that you're bringing up with Jennings and Cobb and them could be the same because Marvin Harrison had Peyton Manning his whole career, Reggie Wayne his whole career.
Well, I'm saying that them guys we can't. When you look at the proof in the pudding, Danny Amendola was junk, but his couple years in New England he was good. Wes Welker was not a good receiver coming to New England. He wasn't. With Miami, he was borderline cut material. He comes in, he becomes what we know as Wes Welker.
I hit a nerve with Isaac. Tom Brady led the fastest. Yeah, because he's the check down. He's the check down king. The dude throws check downs.
Anyways, do you think Julian Edelman, which a lot of people, I don't know, he's borderline.
And it
Isaac
is a proven fact that Tom Brady had more time in the pocket than any quarterback in the league every year in and out.
Any you'll get Isaac fired up.
I know it's why.
Anyways, when you look at it, Julian Edelman's probably he probably isn't in the league if he doesn't latch on to Tom Brady. Okay, I don't think he was a great receiver outside of Tom Brady when it comes to
was in Dallas first.
Yeah, well, I think we drafted him and we released him, and then he went on. But
I think they signed him off the practice squad.
Yeah, and he was never. He went to the Rams. Rams signed him off our practice squad. Was that how it was?
Yeah. I knew it was something like
and
that.
he went on to the Rams and wasn't good. When you look at it, it's like I think
Julian was a 7th round quarterback taken out of Kent State.
That's what I'm saying though. Without Tom Brady, he's not. I mean, I think he finished with probably right around 7,000, 8,000, 9,000 receiving yards. I don't think he's over 10,000 receiving yards in his career. And it's no knock on Julian Edelman, but it's more of a praise to Tom Brady that you have done some things where these other receivers are not, they're probably not good. And I'm not saying he didn't have weapons, because he did. Randy Moss, Rob Gronkowski, them are great weapons.
Wes Welker went from New England and then went and played with Peyton Manning as well. And if you remember the interview, remember the interview with Peyton when they asked him who throws a better ball, Peyton Manning or Tom Brady, and Wes Welker clearly stated Peyton Manning.
Oh, he did say Peyton Manning.
He said Peyton Manning was a more accurate quarterback than Tom Brady.
But I don't know anybody that would ever debate that. If someone debates that Tom Brady is more accurate than Peyton Manning, I'm going to Isaac. I swear to God, if you say it in this, I'm telling you, we all know. Tom Brady's not a great. He's not a supremely accurate quarterback. He's not. I mean, you can look at him. I think he's a career 61 or 62% completion percentage.
You're just trying to poke the bear.
He is not more accurate. I will not. That's like saying Peyton Manning's more accurate than Drew Brees. And we know that's not true.
I think they're on the same level.
You're higher than
I think they're on the same level.
Where you're at? I'm poking the bear beside me. Look at hey. He is not. It's not happening. It's physically impossible.
I think one of the most accurate is Rodgers.
Oh, I mean, he's right there behind.
That dude can put the ball.
He's on the same level as Brees. In my time, Brees is the most accurate quarterback I've ever watched in my life, outside Troy Aikman.
Get out of here.
The thing is, though, if you look at somebody,
Brady is not a surgeon, D. He's not
a surgeon at all. Surgically
not
throwing
a surgeon. I went operating on me anyway.
Yeah, surgically throw. Oh, if he's a check down, if you need a check down, he's got you.
Yeah,
bro. He can perform my check down.
Yeah.
Think about it.
He get you there. I'm not taking away from Tom Brady. Tom Brady does what he has to win.
He does, and that's what you're there. That's what you're paid to do.
He does what he has to win. He's not out trying to get big yards.
Hey, he's not Michael Jordan, dude. I'll just tell you that much. Tom Brady's not Michael Jordan. He never will be.
That's Peyton Manning.
No, he's not. What did you say?
Surgeon on that model, though. You're right.
Someone put on TikTok that him and his wife are struggling.
I did see that. I do remember seeing something like that because he's taking some time off.
Because, well, he didn't. I don't think she wanted him to go back to football.
I don't think so either.
And I think I don't know how true it is. I'm not putting that out there to the world. I will not cut that off this film. But you guys, if you're watching it, I do not know if that's true, but I see it on TikTok.
So
that they are battling.
That brings up she's mad. Yeah, she's mad he went back. So does that potentially make Brady say, okay, I'm not going to play this year? My wife. Do you think he chooses football over his wife? Wife over football?
I think they have come to an agreement, whether she's mad or not, that he's playing this year. That's why I ultimately said this is Tom Brady's last year. I do not believe Tom Brady plays another year. I've said this since early 2000s. I do not believe Tom Brady plays another year in the NFL.
And I think she knows it's, our human bodies can only take so much beating. And I think her fear is that he's going to take a hit by one of these young bucks or something to come out and they hit him. And I get he's got one of the best offensive lines in the league. Last year, he was in the bottom 2 as far as getting sacked last year and getting hit. Again, that's why he's checked down. He'll get rid of the ball before he gets hit. But what happens if he gets
Can't blame him
blindsided
there.
and takes a hit and gets hurt? You know,
His competitiveness is going to allow him to. He'll stay, but I think that's what she's worried about.
that's what I
Ultimately,
mean. I
yeah.
think that she, Isaac's playing until he's 50. Not smart on his part.
he could probably do it though. I mean, he's showing no sign of decline whatsoever.
That brings up an argument that I said. I think me and you talked about. If Peyton Manning doesn't get his neck hurt, is he still playing? If he doesn't have the neck surgeries and is healthy as what he was,
I don't think
is
he walked
still
away.
playing? I don't think he walks away either.
I don't think Drew Brees has walked away if he didn't have a shoulder injury early in his career.
I think if Peyton Manning didn't have, because I watched the interview with his wife's talked about the pain that Peyton Manning was in his final year. I think if Peyton Manning doesn't have that surgeries and doesn't have that injury and still plays,
is he playing? Is he playing right now?
I don't. I'm not saying maybe not right now, but I think that he would have won another 2 or 3 years. I think
he'd have been 20 years. He'd have been a 20-year quarterback.
I don't think anybody would have touched his records at that point. I don't think, because Brady just broke most of his records. What, last year?
Yardage, he broke Breeze's last year.
Well, Breeze broke
Peyton's,
Manning's was out 3 years, I think, when Breeze broke his. So I don't. Isaac said Drew, Peyton, and Tom would be going till
they'd be going till their arms fell off.
You know, I think, and before when Peyton Manning's younger years, I used to didn't like him because he just kept winning. But the older
that's a lot of people. That's like a lot of the hate with Tom Brady is. I've always said, I don't care. Tom Brady's one of the fakest human beings to ever live. When a camera's in his face, I'll never change my opinion on that. I'm stuck in my ways on that. But yes, a lot of people don't like Tom Brady because he's a constant winner.
Well, I think a lot of people lost it for him because of the Spygate, the Deflategate. What was the other one he was in with? Well,
now he's in the Dolphin scandal.
Well, now that scandal, but there was something else with in New England there. I thought that he was involved in. Wasn't there something else that he was? I can't remember.
He had the Spygate, Deflategate, and then he has the scandal now.
The nicest guy you could meet.
Yeah, on camera.
But I think that's the reason why they've lost. So a lot of people has lost respect for Brady is because the stuff they were involved in. I feel like I don't care that he wins because that's the whole point of football is winning.
But a lot of hate is him winning. Though.
A lot of hate. That's partially,
I shouldn't say it's hate. It's jealousy.
I think like with the Super Bowl wins, I feel like they give Brady too much credit. I think Adam Vinatieri won most of those Super Bowls.
Well, their defense,
and the defense was phenomenal.
Played well. Pete Carroll has a ring. Pete Carroll is actually a 2-time Super Bowl champ. Because he literally gave that to the Patriots. Who throws the ball at the 1-yard line with
when
beast
you got
mode.
freaking the beast back there.
When you got beast mode. But that's neither here nor there. So I think before we wrap up, and we have D and we have Isaac on here, give me your bold prediction. What team do you think shocks the world this year in the NFL?
You asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Oh, I thought you were asking them. Well, that's a rough one.
I already gave you mine. I think it's the Carolina Panthers.
The turnaround from last year, it would not surprise me at all. D and Isaac both said Detroit.
They did. I see that.
I look, because of the moves they made, I think the Jets could take a big jump.
You're picking the Jets. So I
think Jets are going to take a big jump.
So you think the Jets could be, and that's not saying they're making the playoffs.
I'm not saying I think it's the biggest turnaround.
Yeah, the biggest surprise is what are you saying the record is? You think they win 7?
I think they could go 8-9, 9-8.
Oh, so you're putting them right around 500. I had the Carolina Panthers going 10-7. I think they make the playoffs. And like I said, they sweep the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Like doubling their wins. Yeah, D goes Jets could start at 0-10. They could, D. They very well could.
Yeah, it depends on if Wilson plays or not.
What do you
but they're
mean,
saying
Isaac?
he's on track.
Yeah, he is supposed to play. If not, they're gonna go out with Joe Flacco.
So you're saying Detroit doubles their wins? That's what you're saying, Isaac?
I could agree with you just depending on how Wilson comes out and plays. Wilson could come out and ball out like he balled on his best friend's mom.
Oh, talking
be
about
good.
the Jets. He's saying the Jets will double their wins. What they have last year? 1, 2 wins.
Lions 10-7.
Ooh, Lions. I like that. So you're saying the Jets 8. We'll just say you said 8 and 9.
500. We'll just do 500.
Well, they can't go
Well,
500.
above 500. We'll go.
So you're 9 and 8. 9 and 8. I'm saying Carolina 10-7. D is calling the Lions at 10-7. Isaac, what is your record prediction for the Detroit Lions? Waiting on Isaac to put it in.
That
And you were
sounded awful.
Yeah, that sounded horrible. Actually,
9 and 8.
9 and 8. 9 and 8. That's nice. I was going to say, man, you messaged back a whole lot faster when we were talking about the crummy Tom Brady.
Oh,
Watch how quick that one comes up. Overrated. Tom Brady is overrated. I made that up.
Hey-
I'm just trying to
hey,
fire
Isaac.
people up.
Almost as overrated as Mike in cornhole. Saying.
Are you done? Are you done? Anyways, so like we've told you guys a million times, I think we're going to go ahead and get out of here for the night. We've ran about an hour long. We want to try to keep these at an hour.
Just like LeBron
Oh,
overrated.
Jesus. No, we're not doing, not tonight. Not
Isaac laughed.
tonight. But what I want to, we have apparel. We can get our guys here to get a picture. The apparel will be here. And I'm going to tell you guys this right now. Isaac D, we're giving you free shirts. I will mail you a shirt. D, Isaac, I'll bring you one to work as long as you're not on second shift.
Hey, D's coming to the fantasy draft.
Is he?
He told me he's going to be there.
He's on next Saturday. You're going to be here next Saturday.
He
And I'm-
said he's going to be here.
Oh, I'll talk to John about the cornhole tournament at the campground. Yeah, I will. I will definitely. But yeah, listen, the people who tune in the most and support us the most, I'm telling you, we're a free hat and a free shirt. So Isaac, D, people who ride and die with us, when we make it, we're helping you guys. 'Cause I'm telling you, we ain't stopping until we make it. Yes, we start off a little rough, and yes, our cast seems to come and go. But we appreciate the support.
We're the staples. We're the staples.
We appreciate the support, and that's from the bottom of my heart, dude. Help us go big. Help us get to where we want to be. Anyways, it's your boy, Mike Ash.
I'm Jay.
And this is Sports Cartel, man. Get at us. We'll be back in 2 weeks, bigger and better. I told you before, if you need to be a part of something, join this cartel. Nothing's bigger than a family.
Go buy some fruities.
And then Monsters here too. Anyways, it's your boy. Peace out, guys. Jeez.
Mm-hmm.